Upon saying the word cactus, what's the first image that pops into your mind? Does it happen to be a large green column with two weird arms reaching high into the sky? Well, if that's the case, the cactus you're most likely thinking of is the saguaro, and that is the superstar of today's video. These cacti are huge, the largest ever, reaching up to 23 meters in height. This legend has since sadly passed away 40 years ago in a windstorm, but they still get huge. There are over 1,750 species of cacti all across South and most of North America. But where do the saguaro live? What is the desert where they're like from? What other cacti and plants and species of animals live around them? Let's dive in. North America has 4 deserts. The definition used for this video is an area with less than 250 millimeters of annual precipitation and an average temperature above 0, so that does not include the poles. Of these 4 deserts, the Sonoran alone is home to our cacti. This is typically the iconic North American desert people think of. Large cacti as far as the eye can see on rolling hills of reddish soil. The Sonoran Desert covers 330,000 square kilometers, which is 1.5% of North America's total land area. It's split into 3 distinct ecoregions using One Earth's framework. The Sonoran itself in southern Arizona, California, and then northern Baja, Mexico, and Sonora. Then there's the Baja California Desert, which covers 78,000 square kilometers on the west of the peninsula, and the Gulf of California Xeric Scrub, which covers 28,000 square kilometers on the east side of the peninsula. But why is there even a desert here in the first place? San Diego, not really known to be a complete desert city, is only 200 kilometers away from the driest parts of this desert. So why is there such a huge climate difference in such a small distance? 2 main reasons. Firstly, rain shadow. These deserts are blocked by much of the precipitation by the mountains of the peninsular range, the highest of which peaks at 3,300 meters. But more importantly, for this desert specifically, is the Pacific high pressure system and the California current. The Pacific high pressure system acts like a shield, pushing away clouds and moisture-laden air away from the region. Then the California current pulls cold water from the north, which reduces the coastal temperature, which also reduces the formation of clouds, creating a double whammy for aridity. Phoenix, it's known to be warm, and it's representative of a large portion of this area. The coldest month of winter will typically have a nighttime low of 8 and a daytime high of 19. However, the warmest month on the summer typically averages a nighttime low of 29 degrees and a daytime high of 41 Celsius, which is insane. As well, they don't get that much rain, only 200 millimeters annually, 40% of which just falls between December and February. So remember how I mentioned that the high pressure system keeps the area even drier? Well, along the Baja California Peninsula, it's 13 to 22 for the winters, but only 28 to 35 for the summertime high. However, it's even drier with 120 millimeters of annual precipitation, with 50% of this precipitation falling in just August and September, making it very humid, and the rest of the year very, very dry. But the driest area is typically the north of the Gulf of California. The temperatures are very similar to what you'd find in Phoenix, but they receive 40% of the rain, receiving only 80 millimeters on average per year. The elevation of the desert varies anywhere from sea level to 1,500 meters along the peninsular ranges. This region transitions to the California chaparral to the northeast, and then into the Mojave Desert following the rain shadow directly north. To the northeast, you'll have the Arizona mountain forests. Directly east, you'll have the Chihuahuan Desert. And then to the south is the Sonoran subtropical dry forest. The Sonoran hosts the saguaro, which, as we discussed, is the largest cactus in the world. And it's limited to the northeast of the Sonoran Desert. The typical cacti reach 80 centimeters in diameter on their trunks and 3 to 15 meters in height. They are absolutely massive, full trees in the desert, basically. They'll live 150 to 200 years, storing so much water in their trunks that the average large cactus, when fully hydrated, easily weighs over 2 tons. They flower in the spring, providing food with both their nectar and their fruit, all while being protected by their 3-inch long spines. During the spring and late summer, when there are the rains, the region is green and flowering. Birds are nesting, reptiles are on the move, and the region is truly alive. Other plants here include the also massive Oregon pipe cactus, agaves, yuccas, prickly pears, and chalas. They grow amongst thorny scrubs and small desert trees. All animals here rely on these plants. Gilded flickers and Gila woodpeckers create cavities in these big cacti, which then in turn provides nests for small owls and martins, while the thorny scrub protects other small birds such as the cactus wren. Vultures and hawks soar overhead, while on the ground you'll have the greater roadrunner and quails. The spring and summer rains bring hummingbirds and bat species to feast on the nectar, while on the ground during this time the Sonoran toads come out of their burrows to breed. This area has over 60 reptile species, 10 of which are rattlesnakes. This is also home to the Gila monster, which is a just large, sluggish lizard that is one of 2 venomous lizard species in North America. Javelinas are the most common large mammal, but this is also home to the endangered Sonoran pronghorn, and you'll also sometimes see desert bighorn sheep. Nighttime is where most of the mammals are truly active, such as antelope, jackrabbits, the kit fox, kangaroo rats, the ringtail, and many more bat species. Less lush is the Xeric Scrubland, which is on the east of the Giantess Mountains, getting very hot and often receiving no precipitation at all during the spring. It is a dry, lowland mountain landscape that is home to the ironwood, which is the longest living species of desert tree, with trees getting up to 1,500 years old. The most diversity found here isn't really in the desert itself, but the oases, which used to be reminiscent of the landscape that covered more of the region before it dried out. These oases are home to the Mexican fan palm, the alkali saccaton, and the threons. Some endemic animals to this region include the gray thrasher, Xantu's hummingbird, Belding's yellowthroat, and the Baja California collared lizard. The San Esteban Islands is also home to the largest chuckwalla species, which has island gigantism. These reach up to 60 centimeters in length and up to 1.5 kilograms in weight, 3 to 4 times larger than their mainland counterparts. The third ecoregion is the Baja California desert. It's slightly cooler than the mainland Sonoran and tends to have a more common fog due to the California current. It typically has less thorny scrub, but still has some giant cactus. The Mexican giant cardon is a contender for the largest cactus species. It looks similar to the saguaro, but will have many more branches, reaching up to 10 meters in height, with some tall, exceptional individuals close to that 18-meter range. This desert also hosts the largest diversity of small succulents and cacti in North America. Higher up in the mountains, it is home to the weird boojum tree, which looks like something straight out of a Dr. Seuss novel, and they grow up to 20 meters in height. So they're not just these small little things on the ground, but there are smaller trees here as well, such as the squat elephant tree. Now, being relatively isolated, this peninsula is home to 17 endemic reptile species, such as the Baja California legless lizard, the Baja California spiny lizard, and the Cape spiny-tailed iguana. Millions of waterfowl overwinter in the Hare's Eye Lagoon on the coast. If you do want to see the giant cacti for yourself, head to Saguaro National Park. You'll see countless large saguaros. Anza Borrego State Park hosts some beautiful springtime blooms of purples, yellows, and white flowers. And the Vizcaíno Biosphere Reserve protects almost 60% of the Baja California desert. So you can see the small cacti diversity for yourself, and maybe even walk through a Dr. Seuss novel and see the boojum tree. The Sonoran is more than meets the eye. You think of desert and you normally don't think of somewhere teeming with life, but it truly is here, especially in the spring. It is the most eye-catching and lush of the North American deserts, home to some of the largest cacti in the world, playing their parts as trees in this region. So if you have any stories of visiting here, just please let me know in the comments. I love to see them, and also just comment any ideas you want on future regions to explore and for me to research. Until next time, thank you so much. See you.